What's up, fanboys and fangirls? It's time for some Captain Marvel spoilers, baby. Let's do it. I'm Luke.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Brett.
I'm Stephanie.
And we're pretty excited to finally be able to do another spoiler review of a comic book movie. I don't know about you. But I am, I guess. But we all saw Captain Marvel. So we're going to talk about it.
Woot.
It's a movie.
It was. It was.
Is that your
movie.
review? Is that your review?
No.
Video over. Thanks for watching.
See
or
you
listening.
next time.
It's been real.
I'm happy to start. Real quick, some non-spoiler thoughts, and then
Yeah.
we
Real quick.
did a proper non-spoiler review
On our show.
on our show. You can go find that over on our YouTube channel or podcast.
Yep. It's
what-
probably, if you
what
haven't
the
watched it yet,
fanboy-
it's probably like right below it.
Yeah. It'll be right up there. Latest episode 90.
What?
We're only 10 away from 100. Anyways, nothing that we say here. No, that's not true. If you don't want to be spoiled, just go over and watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't watch.
We're going to say everything.
Everything.
So now's your chance to get out.
Get out. And then go watch our Get Out or listen to our Get Out commentary.
That's right.
Oh.
Plugs.
Killing this.
They came here for a review and they're not getting it.
Start the review, Brett.
Okay, Captain Marvel, I wrote mine down, is the film equivalent of a modern day action RPG with a blank slate protagonist and a long list of quests that are an unsatisfying substitute for a proper narrative. That said, it has great moments and performances that turn a messy script into an enjoyable film movie experience.
I really like your
He's so
way
good
with words.
He's so good with
Very
words.
nice.
I know.
And then it's us over here going, just vomiting words.
I'll go to spin off that.
Okay?
I wrote a fun movie that doesn't deviate much from the Marvel origin formula, but doesn't do anything to improve it either. If not for Samuel and Ben Mendelsohn and some cool visuals, this movie would be a snooze fest. Sorry, guys.
Wow, what a hater. I'll go next. I said that this movie has a lot of cool moments, but they're kind of cut off because of bad writing and bad directing. I agree with Ben Mendelsohn and Samuel L. Jackson. I thought they were awesome. But a lot of this movie just felt bland to me. I just thought it was okay. And I think that there's another movie out right now with a strong female lead that's better. That's the lead of Battle Angel, which I never thought I'd say in my life. But
But here we are.
Here we are.
Nice.
Stephanie.
For me, if we're keeping this to the 200 character,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was good for me. I'm totally losing all my words that I said earlier.
It's late.
It's late. It's my bedtime. It's past my bedtime. But for someone who knew nothing about Captain Marvel going into this, it was a entertaining movie that got you all the facts that you needed to have to understand what's going on.
A good introduction to her.
Yeah,
Yep.
good origin story.
solid. So that's the only non-spoiler part we're doing.
Yeah.
Let's go crazy.
Well, ratings real quick.
Oh, true.
Fanboy worthy.
All right.
All right.
Fangirl worthy.
Ooh,
What?
I love it.
Breaking the mold. I can
Yes.
dig it. It's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Spoilers.
So,
What do you want to start with?
So
There's a lot.
I just want to start off with this, I guess, because this really annoyed me. I did not need the Tesseract in this movie.
Oh, see, both. I think Stephanie and I really liked
That
it.
showed up, and I went, wow, we're seeing this for the 10th time.
Yeah, we have seen it a lot.
Yeah.
Why can't it just be a light speed engine? Like, it's always an Infinity Stone, and it meant nothing to Endgame or even Infinity War. It just happened to be the Tesseract. That was it. And that bothered me. Sorry to just start on a negative right off the bat.
No, it's okay.
But
No, it's fine.
I had two facepalm moments in this movie. That was the first one.
Okay.
I just think that's kind of the problem with doing such a big shared universe is like you don't have to, but they feel like they have to put that kind of stuff in every movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
So I would
think
agree
that
with
would
you.
have I think that would have worked for me if we didn't have as much tie-in from something else. That something else being Samuel L. Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
But he is the tie to the rest of the universe, and I would agree that we don't need that. I thought it was a clever way to be like, hey, Infinity Stones. Although I did question, and I had to like in the middle of the movie think about like, okay, no, wait, where was it? It wasn't it at the bottom of the ocean at this point, or are we? No, because Howard Stark got it, but then
I had to do that today too.
so
My
then-
mind was
but
wrapping
Shield was
around
already a
everything.
thing, so Shield already had it, and then they gave it away to a Kree, or did she steal it? Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rabbit hole continues.
My mind.
I'll go. Huge pro for me was the Skrull storyline.
Yeah.
I love the idea of turning the whole villain thing on its head and being like,
Mhm.
no, they're actually the good guys.
Yeah,
And
that
they
was
just want a
awesome.
home.
Yep.
I loved that. My favorite part of the movie, without a doubt, was that. And Ben Mendelsohn just sold it so well.
Yeah.
She did such a good job.
And in our non-spoiler, we had mentioned that Maria Rambeau was one of the emotional parts.
Mhm.
this is
We
the
said
other-
that was because we couldn't talk
Yeah,
about
about
this.
this,
This
yeah.
was the other side of it because
Yeah.
it was Talos literally just wanting his family back,
Right.
which is it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he sold it so well.
And
It was
even
so
under all
good.
that makeup, you could still feel the emotion of all of
yeah.
the characters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the scroll characters.
All the scrolls looked so good, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I agree, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Steph, spoiler things you want to talk about?
Well, I'm more on the positive end of the Tesseract. thing.
Called out.
I honestly did not even see that coming, and like for me, that was awesome. Like not knowing, like I thought she got her powers because she was taken, and then they thought she was. I had no idea that an exploding light engine, is that what it was? Or
Lightspeed engine.
Lightspeed engine was from the Tesseract, giving her powers, and like watching that sequence of like the Tesseract power like infusing with her body was just like my eyes were wide, and it was awesome. I loved that part. And
Visually, that part looked incredible.
Yeah. It kind of makes sense with the space stone having to do like that's what Thanos uses to teleport, like transport. That would be the key to the faster than
Sorry, I
light.
just had a light bulb.
Is it in-game related?
No,
Oh.
it's the second post-credit scene where they're talking about the little pager,
she
and they're
showed it.
like talking about it, and all of a sudden she appears. What if this is a new ability that she's figuring
She
out?
can just kind of teleport.
Yeah.
So is she
That'd be crazy.
a walking Infinity Stone then?
Maybe.
Maybe that's how she defeats Thanos.
Be crazy.
I don't need everything to be connected to an Infinity Stone. It already created two in Age of Ultron, so that
Yeah.
was me.
Oh, yeah, it did. That's right. Totally forgot about that.
Let's see. What do we got? Oh, the Flurkin. Do we like the cat? Do we not like the cat? Is the cat distracting?
I thought the cat stole a lot of cool things that somebody else could have
Coulda
done,
done.
and it was used for comedy.
Yeah.
What the Flurkin did was really cool.
Yeah.
Like, eating the Tesseract, cool. That was cool.
Yeah.
Eating those people, cool. That was cool. Why couldn't the main character have more to do, though?
Fight.
Yeah.
Show us your cool powers.
I think one of my cons, getting into spoiler territory, since we're there already, is, well, like you talked about, there are a lot of story threads. And while I think Nick Fury is a good character in this film, I don't know if he was necessary. I think I would have rather him had a Coulson level
Cameo.
or be involved about as much as the cat,
See, I was talking
and then
about
give
this.
that to Jude Law or Star Force,
Yeah.
and build that relationship, because by the
completely agree.
time the turn comes and that there's that twist,
You
I don't really care
Yeah.
at that point.
So I was talking with Tyler about this, and I'm gonna compare two movies. One of this
dangerous.
this Captain Marvel is a lot better than the movie I'm about to compare it to. I'm gonna compare it to Green Lantern.
Okay.
Okay.
Green Lantern. One of the biggest problems with that movie is that you have a cosmic character on Earth. It works a lot better in this one,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to. Man, I live on Earth. I don't need to see it.
Right. If you have a character who can be in space, put him in space.
Yeah.
Make him do cool things in space.
Yeah.
Because the best parts of this movie is when she's fighting in space.
Yeah.
I think I could have,
Fighting missiles in space.
I backseat directing here, or rewriting the script. I'm just gonna add my name, the ninth
The ninth
scriptwriter.
screenwriter.
Would have been to have the first two acts in space and have the third act
Like fight on Earth.
That's
be the like discover the Doctor, the spaceship, and have that. The third act can basically happen exactly like it did. You have to include Lashana Lynch's character somehow, I think, but
So
then that builds that relationship between her and Starforce that makes it the breakup more. Do we want to let him in?
The
He's-
Flurkin in?
He's
Let the
probably
Flurkin
in.
he's
So
probably laying down and meowing through the crack. Yep.
so more of like the Space Force thing.
Just grab him.
Come here, kitty,
Brett,
kitty, kitty.
you might be able to speak to this. I felt like the pacing of the first act is an absolute mess. So like all within the first 20 minutes of the movie, we're trained, we're inducted into the Space Force, we're sent on a mission, and we're sent like we end up on Earth.
Yeah.
20 minutes into the movie, you're like, what just happened? So
Yeah.
we meet like the High Intelligence, we meet Jude Law, we meet the Space Force, we meet the Skrulls, and then we end up on Earth and we meet Samuel L. Jackson. Like everything just happened so fast in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, what did I miss? Did I miss something? And so that really was like jarring to me. I hated that.
Yeah.
I just felt like way too much happened too quick.
I would agree. I think that's one of the weaker points of when you talked about in your non-spoiler review or in our non-spoiler discussion. You thought the middle act was fine.
Yeah,
because
it slowed
it's
down
paced
a little
well.
bit. Yeah,
But you're right. The first act is just
it's like a sprint.
here's a bunch of characters that you need to know, but you don't really. I mean, you only need to know them because they're included as plot points later,
Yeah,
not because they actually hold any
they don't add anything to the
significance
movie.
to Carol's emotional journey.
Right. No, I
So-
agree.
You want the cat?
I want the
It's
cat.
exactly what I'm thinking. The Space Force also is a huge issue to me in the final-ish fight, the fight before the final fight against the missiles.
Yeah.
Two things I don't like about that scene. One, all the shaky camera, and you talked about the colors in our non-spoiler review. But I also did not like the song choice.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go like against the feminist thing. I'm really not, but I don't need that to know that she is a powerful woman.
Like we said,
You know what I mean? Like I really don't.
the
need
music
that.
is very on the nose in this film.
That's like the most heavy-handed part of the
Yeah.
movie, I think.
Yeah.
I just thought it was badly made. Like edited, inserted. Just like she like puts it in the Happy Days lunchbox and it's just I'm just a girl. It's like ah.
Yeah, she just starts punching everything. Hello, Flurkin.
Our
But-
Flurkin dances.
Let's see,
Sorry.
I lost my notes.
The Flurkin distracted us all.
So I hate being negative, but
We got our own Flurkin.
so in the beginning of this movie, she has an inhibitor chip on her neck or something.
Mhm.
Anyway, they don't reference it until the last 5 minutes of the movie then.
Right.
Very convenient.
Yeah.
Very convenient. I was not a fan of that.
Yeah. Again, the whole, like Tyler was talking about, rushing through that first act. I
Mhm.
think if you had given it time to breathe and had it focus on her as a member of Star Force and why that inhibitor chip is there, it makes sense. Like, it would have made more sense. And it would have had a more emotional impact on the audience. That's not what they did, so I mean, it's impossible to say for sure that would have fixed it. But
Yeah, for sure.
again, I think there's probably 3 story threads that are happening, and like you just don't care about 2 of them because they're brought up at the beginning and at the end.
So, and that's kind of my next point too. I was writing my notes and I was, thinking about this, and I totally forgot Jude Law was even in this movie. Like, he's at the beginning and he's at the end. Other than that, he has like a phone call scene,
Yeah.
and then he's gone, and then he shows up and you're like, oh yeah, he's kind of the bad guy in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, that
And I thought his performance was actually no good.
the idea that the mentor turns out to be
Evil.
the evil in an amnesia situation is kind of obvious.
See that one coming. No way.
The other twist was great. The twist with the scrolls,
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was perfect.
but you got to see the scrolls. You got to interact with Ben Mendelsohn, and you just because you don't have that time with Jude Law, you don't get to. It doesn't matter. It's just now is a bad guy. Like I said, quests, like
Mhm.
they're just quests. That's your next quest.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of back to Scrolls, I guess. I thought I was this close to nailing my prediction. If you haven't watched any of our old stuff or listened to our old stuff, I had a very bold prediction that they were going to totally change the Captain Marvel storyline and that she was going to be a Skrull. That they replaced dead Carol Danvers. She died in the wreck. They replaced her. And then she's Carol Danvers, but then she loses her memory, and then the Kree give her the powers, and they're going to use her against her own people.
Ooh.
There were some points where I was like, oh my gosh, I think I nailed it. But they actually went with the more normal origin for her, and I was like, okay, that's cool. But
So, big question here. What did you guys think of her, like, superhero moment? Like the I fall, I get back up.
I like it. I liked it. It worked for me.
Mm-hmm. Same.
I just think of one other moment that was better.
it didn't really work for me.
Yeah, I
because
was not
I
a big
felt
fan of it.
like kind of in the moments where they show you like you can't be in the Air Force, you're a woman. Oh, you can't drive this car as a kid because you're a girl. It's just like, it was so quick. I was just like, oh, okay. And I didn't really feel like I had been shown that she was overcoming a lot.
Yep.
Sure.
I felt like I was told she was.
Yeah. when I mentioned the 3 story threads earlier,
That was one of them.
that's one of them that I feel is underserved.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It could have been really powerful, but it just didn't land for me
Sure.
because of that. It was undercooked.
Yeah. Steph, do you want to talk a little bit? I know that was one of the moments that you really enjoyed.
Her coming into her powers.
Yeah.
That part for me was just, I mean, a female coming into to know her full not
potential.
know her full potential, but she's getting there. It's just empowering to watch, and I mean the visual effects just made it that much better.
Oh,
the effects were
are so awesome.
really good.
But I loved when she started that last big group fight sequence, and she doesn't quite know how powerful she actually is, and she's kind of like getting thrown all over the place, and she's kind of like, oh my gosh, well that's pretty cool, I can do that, and then she gets she blasts herself against the wall, and she smirks at herself oh, okay, this is pretty cool, all right, this is awesome. And yeah, I mean that part was just really enjoyable for me to watch. So.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about the part where her hands are in the thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
I totally.
That was
think of it. That was actually a great part.
that was my favorite action sequence.
Yeah. The Kree escape.
Yeah.
Escape from the Kree ship. Yeah.
She's running
Or not
around
Kree.
with these giant
Skrull ship.
hammer
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Also, I thought it was really cool that the Skrulls were actually never hurting her. Like they're just
Yeah.
like, we just want your memories.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
we just want your help.
On
That's your scientist.
on Carol's moment of realization of her becoming Captain Marvel, that idea that you have to subvert your emotions or bury them, I think is one that, you know, my personality, I related to that a lot. I am a very emotional person, and growing up, while my family was very accepting of that, whenever you were on sports teams, you know, you weren't allowed to get emotional. And so I related to that because of, I think, my personality. It was like, yeah, like using your emotions it is a part of you, and it makes you stronger. It doesn't make you weaker. And so then her, you know, rising up out of that, and then even at the end when Jude Law's character is like on his last little like,
Yeah.
fight me fair, you know, and she's
Yeah.
just like, boom, I don't owe you anything, or I don't have to
prove anything
to you. I'm like, yep, that works for me.
That line.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think her standing up scene would have worked if I felt like she was getting past suppressing her emotions
Mhm.
and actually starting to show some, but she doesn't. Like, she stands up, she's like, yep, I'm a superhero, gonna go beat the crap out of everybody now. And like, there's no, like, I don't feel like she ever gets there. I feel like she's still trying to get there.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't, to me, it just didn't sell it.
sure.
I don't think that's her fault. Could be writing, could be directing, could be a lot of things.
Sure.
But I definitely get what they were going for
Yeah.
sure. I just think it could have been
Could've been
executed
better.
a little better.
Oh, for sure. How do we feel about that? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say post-credit scene. So if you have something more that's
Yes.
more in line with the film,
Well, I was just gonna ask, what'd you think about how Fury lost his eye?
I think it takes away a little bit of the sting that line had in Winter Soldier.
yeah,
I think they had this idea that it'd be really funny, but before the movie came out, it became a meme, and it had no impact whatsoever. Just like, oh well, that sucks.
What's the line from Winter Soldier?
The last time I trusted somebody, I lost an eye.
But he says it like really serious.
The last time I trusted somebody, I lost an eye. Closer to that.
Yeah.
and in this one, he picks up the Flurkin and is like, "All right, I'm gonna trust.
so cute.
I'm gonna trust you now, not to eat me."
And then it scratches.
And then it scratches him.
Yeah.
And this wasn't even like a, oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm fine.
He's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. It's like, okay, so I assumed then like the Flurkin must like
poison his eye.
poison
or
it
something?
slowly over time because he didn't react like he had actually gotten his eye cut up.
Well, I mean, he's like, I mean, it'll heal, and then Talos and
Right,
his
there's
wife
a-
or whatever, like, no. I just feel like they used an interesting story bit and they turned it into a joke, which is just so frustrating.
Well,
Because I feel like that's the thing now. It's like, oh, this would be funny.
I think in. Hey, don't mess with that equipment. the cats.
Don't
cats
eat
all
the
over
equipment,
place.
The
Flurkin.
Flurkin, man.
I think we've seen this in Star Wars, and I think the further we get into Marvel, we'll see more of it, and that is everything has to be explained. There's no room for mystery, and that's just not like when you explain everything and you take away some of that mystery, it feels less grand.
I was just going to say, they should have teased that the entire movie, and it shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
That's I honestly
Like
thought
Like
that was
even
gonna
have
happen.
like a swipe at him, he's like, "Whoa!"
I honestly thought that's what we were gonna get. I
Yeah.
thought they were gonna tease it, and then not show
Like,
anything.
he gets in the car wreck,
Yeah.
Right.
and he's like, his eye's bleeding, and you're like, oh, it wasn't that. That would have been crazy. Like,
Yeah.
and like they should have, but that was the only part. This is the only time they did that. And the next time it's, oh, don't eat me. It's like, man,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was disappointing. But also, it's so unimpactful that I'm over it.
One more before the.
My second facepalm moment.
Yeah. So,
Oh.
what did you guys think of the Initiative?
Oh my gosh.
The Protectors
the
Initiative?
Protector Initiative, and then he sees her nickname on the plane is like, oh, Initiative.
The Avenger Initiative?
That's what I said, isn't it?
No.
What did I say?
The Initiator Initiative.
Well, doesn't matter because that seriously was. I hit my forehead so hard. I was like, doesn't need to happen. Just doesn't need to happen.
Again, that's that.
Did Fury do
Shared universe
anything
thing.
by himself?
No. At this point, you got to figure that out, right? No.
Gosh dang it! That
Nobody
was
does.
so. I thought that was so stupid.
I was okay with it.
But it's also
I
how
don't
they
know.
end the movie, and I was like,
I'm
man,
pretty sure I grabbed you and was like, did they do
it just
that?
full on.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. but-
I thought it was kind of cool, honestly, because it was his first experience with like this
With-
person who
yeah.
had amazing powers, who was on Earth, and that made him decide that he was going to find more like her.
Yeah.
And knowing that was her nickname, and then nicknaming the project after her, I thought it was cool.
I'm just saying, he works for Shield. Does he not know about Captain America? Was that?
Does he not know about
Again,
him yet?
timeline things. Who knows?
I mean, I know he
He
didn't.
should.
He didn't meet him,
Right.
but he knows that something strange is possible.
Yeah.
But it also, because Captain America is the first Avenger,
Yeah.
like, it kind of takes away from that a little bit, in a way.
He still is.
But I do agree with what you're saying. I didn't think about it like that, but I do like that. But I still don't like it that much.
I thought
I like the way you're thinking of
Okay.
it, but then when I think about Captain America, I'm like, wait, but then that doesn't make sense. So like it's like two like head-on collisions trying to find out
Yeah.
which one
So maybe
makes it.
we just
so
need to like
stupid.
not revisit the past anymore.
Maybe-
That'd just be
maybe.
safer for
Yeah.
everyone.
Black Widow. What you doing?
Oh dear.
But anyway,
Oh,
we
how
can
long time
finally
is it?
go back to post-credit scene.
Post credit
Oh yes,
scene.
that's where we were.
I was not expecting
Did it actually show her?
to actually show her,
Me neither.
and now I don't know. I mean, I'm fine with it in terms of like. Okay, yeah, she's there. Like, she's
Actually there. Yeah.
I think it helps set expectations for Endgame because I didn't know how much she'd even be in it. But if what the Russo brothers have said is they're only showing stuff from the first 15, 20 minutes of the film, and
She's
now
already
she's
there,
there.
yeah.
She's there for the whole film.
Yeah.
Okay, so bold prediction. I think that's fake.
You don't think it's in the movie?
Nope.
Could be.
Just a bold prediction. Just
What
a bold prediction. I actually have no idea.
So I
I'm
wonder.
just going for it.
I wonder if.
Swinging for the fences.
Why not?
So what if that's her introduction to it though? What if Endgame starts and she's already there because of that post-credit scene? How would you guys feel about that? Because that would irritate me a lot. Because then it absolutely requires that you see Captain Marvel. for you to
No. Well, what do you?
like if that post-credit scene is her introduction and like that's not in the movie, like the movie starts and she's already there.
No, I think she'll be.
That scene will be in the movie.
I think the Russo brothers are good enough directors
To not do that, yeah.
to explain that even though everyone saw Infinity War, we still need to get in the heads of these characters and where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have only seen Avengers 1, 2, and 3.
And
Black Panther, probably.
the introduction of Captain Marvel, again, like they don't even know who she is.
Yeah.
They have
so they'll
they have
explain
no
it there.
idea. So she's gonna have to show up, and they're gonna have to do some explanation of
And we've
she
gotten
is.
a post-credit scene like within the movie.
in the
too.
past.
'Cause
Yeah,
got that
we had the
Civil
With
War,
Ant-Man, we got a
and
clip from
War.
Civil War.
Yeah.
yeah.
And the thing is with that, this is why I think this. I think that is in the movie, but there might be some clever splicing going on.
yeah.
Mm.
Because that scene from Ant-Man is a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
There's a full conversation in between Steve and Bucky that they cut out in Ant-Man.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's some
There's
cutting.
definitely. Well, I'm trying to think who's still. Do we know if? Oh, no. I was trying to think. Is there anyone who's actually around who knows who she is? What's the
unless,
timeline?
Unless
on
the
who-
scroll shows up, I guess.
What
if
about?
Coulson's on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. still.
Well, I was gonna say in the MCU, is he technically?
Spoilers for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I guess. Coulson's dead.
Oh,
Okay.
He, like, actually died. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure.
Because he died once and then he came back as like a.
Well, he died in
robot.
Avengers,
And they brought him back.
and then
for
they brought him
Agents of
back for Shield.
And then he died again.
Okay, so then he
Then
died again
came
in
back,
Shield.
And then he died again.
Gosh. These is comic book movies. They're
Nobody's ever dead.
Yeah.
no one's ever dead.
Exactly. So he could be there.
And
Sure,
honestly, that makes a lot of sense. Like Coulson makes a lot of sense in terms of why was he in Captain Marvel at all? Unless
So
they
he could do
need
this.
someone to.
It's that one guy.
I don't know.
I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. That or somebody has files on her.
Yeah.
Because she was with Fury. Surely he wrote something about
down.
her. But my real question is, why didn't Fury call her in the other movies?
Buddy.
'Cause, like, I know she says only in emergencies, but like,
Here's why. They didn't know what they're going to do with her character yet when they originally wrote all this stuff way back when in 2012.
so now they're just trying to patch it in.
Yeah, they're just
Oh, yeah.
adding it in. That's
Oh, yeah.
it. That's the only reason.
That works for me.
Well, there was a cut of Ultron, not a proper cut. But the end shot of Ultron, they had a blank slate without characters in it, and Captain Marvel was going to be revealed in there.
Ooh.
But then they replaced her with Scarlet Witch.
I can dig it.
So
Cool.
I'm really interested.
I mean, the
what's
idea
gonna
that
happen in Endgame.
Captain
with her.
Marvel has obviously been in their plans for a while.
Mhm.
It was just how are we going to incorporate her?
Yeah.
And I think they, as soon as they realized they weren't getting her in Phase 3 at the beginning, it probably was like, all right, well, we'll sneak her in at the end, and let her shine in Phase 4.
Yeah, she'll kick off 4.
Yeah.
Really. She'll probably lead 4.
I would imagine.
Gotta have a captain.
Gotta have a cap.
I still stand by
Captain
my
America's
theory
gonna die.
that her role is, well, she'll be in a lot of it. I think her role about her being the most powerful and most important is just a swerve.
I would agree. I think that's a red herring. I think she's probably important in some regard, but ultimately that story has to be about the original Avengers.
Yeah, it has to.
It has to be.
It is a necessity.
It's just the
Bare
bare
necessities.
necessities, the little flirkin' necessities. Don't worry about your flirkin', flirk.
Luke called the second post-credit scene, by the way.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a Tesseract hidden in there, Podcat?
Podflurkin.
The other one might.
The other one might.
Hello.
Anyways.
Is that everything?
Anything
Yeah.
else we
There's
want to
probably
talk
something
about?
we forgot to talk about.
I mean, yeah. Again, there was a lot about this movie that I actually liked. We talked about a lot of dislikes. It's
Sorry.
way easier to talk about dislikes than it is likes.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
We-
talked about the
all
Skrull
four of us-
storyline and stuff too, though.
Yeah,
we did
yeah,
like.
we did like
All
that.
four of us
Yeah.
did like it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
2 really did. 2 kind of did.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
It's good, not great. It's definitely not bad. Like,
Yeah.
there's good enough performances that carry the movie.
Yep.
Make it enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. I will
Agreed.
definitely go see the next one. And I'm
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
not saying that just because I do this and because I'm like a comic book fan. Like it definitely
I,
earned a
I-
sequel.
I
Yeah.
want to see more.
I think where her character is at the end of this is really interesting.
Yeah.
And I want to see what Brie Larson and potentially
Ooh.
some new directors.
So Ronan the
We'll
Accuser, they're like,
Oh
We'll
my
come back.
gosh.
Yeah.
we're like, we want that. And they're like, the weapon, the woman. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
He's like, are we gonna flash back again for her next
Why-
movie?
Why aren't his eyes? Why don't they have like the black marks under him?
I
Like,
think that only happened once he committed to Thanos.
because he looked way cooler with that.
I was gonna say he didn't look all that cool
He
in this
didn't-
movie,
he didn't look
unfortunately.
like any
It was
kind
like
of
pretty
friendly.
much just a hologram in this movie anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had one actual physical scene.
But if we forgot to talk about anything, just let us know in the comments, and we'll get to it eventually, probably in another episode or in the comments with you.
Maybe. If
This
you
cat is
respond
cracking me up.
nicely, I am more likely to reply.
Yep. Me too.
If you're just a jerk, I'll ignore you.
Stop talking through the video.
I haven't looked at
Yeah.
comments in a long time. So, should probably do that sometime.
Sometime.
I won't respond. It's always Brett that usually responds or Tyler. But
Yep.
no worries.
If I
Anyways,
respond, it's on my own account.
Let us know what we missed, and let us know what you thought of Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
if you haven't seen it and you watch this, you're crazy, but go see it.
yeah,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yes.
Until,
Also, we're on Twitter and Instagram. Check out our live show.
those
It's
blogs.
on Monday nights on YouTube at 8 o'clock
Yep.
Central Standard Time. We post this also audio versions on iTunes and SoundCloud.
And it's on the Google Play
It's on the Google Play.
podcast services. So you can find us almost anywhere. But thanks for watching or listening, and
Thank you to
Stephanie for being our special guest.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You were awesome.
Oh, thanks. Thanks.
We forgot to thank her in our actual episode, so that's embarrassing.
We're
That's
gonna
all right.
have
No worries.
we're gonna
We'll
have
bring
a
you on next
lot
week and thank
more
you.
movie reviews. Like maybe not next week, but the week after.
Coming
like this
up.
is kind of like the
This is the start of
start
blockbuster season.
Blockbuster season.
Oh,
so
thank goodness.
we get to
Finally
come
here.
back.
Finally
If you
do
like
something with
this,
my life.
you'll get lots more of our spoiler reviews in the coming months. So, adios.
Thank you,
Until
Simon,
next
for joining
time.
us also.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.